Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. At this time, the chair recognizes the gentlewoman from Oregon, Ms. Hoyle, for 5 minutes. Ms. Hoyle.
Thank you. And thanks to the witnesses for being here today. Puerto Rico continues to face a series of devastating crises, and our response must focus on helping Puerto Ricans recover and thrive. We need to listen to and support the people of Puerto Rico, their needs, their goals, and their vision for the future. And that starts with ensuring that we're delivering results and not just talking about change. And I think there's real value in the work that the board has done to advance common sense reforms, from improving contracting processes to reducing the debt burden on Puerto Rican families. But one issue remains especially urgent, and that is the energy crisis. So even with ongoing efforts, Puerto Rico's electric grid is still unreliable, that everybody has acknowledged, and access to consistent, affordable energy remains out of reach for too many people. Mr. Mujica, I was alarmed to learn that New Fortress Energy Company is withholding much-needed liquefied natural gas shipment from Puerto Rico. And in fact, wasn't it the CEO said that they were just going to turn their ship around that was headed for Puerto Rico. Can you explain what your understanding is, what's driving that decision, and the consequences that could happen for the residents and businesses on the island?
Thank you, Congresswoman. As I understand, we received the contract. It was a long-term contract for fuel supply. As our due diligence of the board, we wanted to review the contract. There are significant disparities between the contract and what the RFP said, and then part of our review process is to make sure that there is market competition in contracts and it's consistent with the fiscal plan. In our review, we asked for more time. They wouldn't give us more time to do the review. There was two contracts, and I'll make this very quick. There were two contracts under review. One expired, and then there was another contract that doesn't expire until next year. When we interviewed people who negotiated the contract, what they said to us was, the reason we sent you that contract, and that contract was negotiated under the threat of that the fuel would not be delivered for the units where there is currently a contract that is active. If that is true, that fuel was going to be cut off as part of the negotiation, and then what we know as a fact is the fuel delivery then actually, when the contract wasn't approved, the fuel delivery actually was not delivered, in fact. So if the facts as reported to us are true, that would be a despicable act against the people of Puerto Rico to deny them the fuel that they would be needed in order to negotiate and push the terms of a contract.
And Mr. Mujica, can you just address some of the more egregious provisions that were in that contract that they were trying to force the board to agree to?
We're still reviewing the contract, and we haven't reached an opinion as to the contract itself. What we have said, however, is the contract gives exclusivity where there already is exclusivity over the San Juan port. This contract gives broader exclusivity. The contract is a take or pay with regard to specific volumes. We need to understand are those volumes achievable, because it may include new generation assets that are still not constructed. So we don't want to put Puerto Rico in a position where you're paying for fuel that you may not need because of delays, and Puerto Rico has not been successful in delivering projects on time. So it's the market competition aspect, and it's also the aspect of what the volumes are.
And then going back, follow-up question, going back to what Ms. Velasquez was talking about, Golden Tree is refusing to negotiate on the debt that's owed, or interest, or anything else. Do they have any interest, any skin in the game for the people of Puerto Rico, or how Puerto Ricans benefit at all whatsoever, or they're just people that buy debt for pennies on the dollar?
Yeah. I can't speak to the motivation of Golden Tree. I can tell you we are in mediation. We have court-ordered mediation. We are actively working in good faith. What we know is what the non-consenting bondholders have filed with the regulator to what they expect the regulator to put into the rate is to pay the full $12 billion. We hope that mediation is ours confidential, and we hope that we can get to a deal. Again, we have an agreement with 44% of bondholders, and we've reached agreements in 12 other times with 12 other bankrupt entities with consensual agreements. So the board has actively negotiated settlements. In this instance, the gap is too far apart and it's unaffordable for the people of Puerto Rico.